Wow. Just an amazing ball game right there. Just hello offense. Haven't seen you in a while. The Phillies win this game against the Chicago Cubs. They won the second game of this three-game series, taking the series against the Chicago Cubs by a score of 11-1 in Charlie Manuel's first game as a hitting coach for the Philadelphia Phillies. And just in this entire ball game, the entire lineup did every single person did their own little thing to chip into the production in this ball game. And just also Aaron Nola on the mound was something special. Aaron Nola was dominant on the mound today. He put us in a position to win this ball game, and also granted that the team scored 11 runs for him, so he can feel really comfortable out there and do his sting. He only allowed 3 hits in this ball game. He goes 7 innings, gives up 1 earned run on the home run by Chris Bryant, and strikes out 7. Just really, really solid performance there by Aaron Nola. And just like I said earlier with the offensive production in this lineup from today's ball game, Charlie Manuel being in the dugout for the first time as a hitting coach this season, it just felt like just the aggression going up into the plate, our approach just with Charlie in the dugout right now, even though it's only one game, it just right now the approach looked a lot different in this ball game. They were going up there, attacking, being aggressive, finding the pitch that they wanted to hit, and it worked for them in this ball game. Cole Hamels was throwing a lot of pitches in the zone, and they were keying off of that. And it just looked like I said, everyone was just being really aggressive, just finding that pitch that they feel comfortable to hit with. And it really worked for the lineup in this ball game. Like Bryce Harper in the first inning, he gets a 2-run shot to make it 2-0 Phillies. And in the bottom of the second inning, we got a couple hits right there. And then Aaron Nola even at the bottom of the lineup, he gets his own RBI single of his own to make it 3-0. And then we get make it a 4-0 lead on a Rhys Hoskins sac fly. So it is 4-0 Phillies after 2. Then we go to the bottom of the third inning, but actually before the bottom of the third, we did have bases loaded a little bit in the bottom of the second, but we didn't manage to score there, so and you're kind of thinking right there, oh, okay, the Phillies are getting these hits, but they can't score once again with the bases loaded. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt us. But it doesn't. Bottom of the third inning, our first 3 guys, Scott Kingery, Cesar Hernandez, Roman Quinn, they all get on for the first 3 pitches. Scotty gets a single, Roman Quinn gets a bunt single, and Cesar gets a single that drives in Scott Kingery to make it 5-0 Phillies. And then Adam Hazley himself, he gets a little infield single to score Roman Quinn to make it 6-0 Phillies. And then we do eventually get the bases loaded. Aaron Nola walks, Rhys Hoskins grounds into a force out, and also not Bryce Harper actually, JT came up before Bryce Harper. And what does JT Realmuto do with the bases loaded, 1 out? Grand slam to left field right inside the foul pole to make it 10-0 Phillies. Whew. It's just the offensive production in the first 3 innings, scoring 10 runs. Aaron Nola just had himself a game right there, just went out there, did his thing, knowing that he had 10 runs on the board. Aaron Nola being that Cy Young nominee Aaron Nola that we all know and love. Whew. Aaron Nola just went out there and did his thing once those 10 runs were scored. And just to top it off, in the bottom of the 6th inning, Bryce Harper comes up. Just an absolute moonshot to right center field in the second deck for his second of the ball game. And interesting, too, Bryce Harper this month of August, I think he's had 6 home runs this month, and that's the most home runs he's had in any month this season. And 2 games this month, he's had 2 home run games. So maybe the power is starting to creep up there for Bryce Harper. Maybe the confidence build up with Charlie Manuel in the dugout is just telling him to go out there and find a pitch that he's comfortable to hit with. Maybe that's something that can work very well for Bryce Harper and as well for the rest of the lineup, because it looked like it was working today. And the Cubs, late in this ball game, in the top of the 7th inning, they do get a meaningless run with Chris Bryant on an absolute moonshot, actually, to center field. And it makes it 11-1 Phillies, but who's your daddy, what you do? And the Phillies just shut down the rest of this ball game, 11-1. We bring in the bullpen, we bring in Nick Pivetta, he pitches a solid inning. Same thing with Juan Nicasio for the 9th inning, pitches a really solid inning. Nick Pivetta gets 2 strikeouts as Juan Nicasio gets 1. And just the stat line from the rest of the lineup, Rhys Hoskins in the leadoff spot actually goes 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. JT Realmuto goes 2 for 4 with that grand slam. Bryce Harper goes 3 for 3 with the 2 home runs on the night, and he also scores 2 runs. Gene Segura had a pretty quiet night. He goes 1 for 5, but he did chip into the offense. Scott Kingery, same thing, goes 1 for 4 with a run scored. Roman Quinn goes 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Cesar Hernandez goes 2 for 3, and Adam Hazley goes 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Even Aaron Nola in the ninth spot in the lineup, he gets his own RBI single to get chip in for his RBI. Goes 1 for 2 on the night. So maybe Charlie Manuel in the dugout taught Aaron Nola how to be a little bit of aggressive at the plate right there. And even on that Aaron Nola RBI single, everyone was playing up. They were expecting the bunt. Nope, he was swinging away. Got the RBI single right there like it was nothing. Aaron Nola looked like a professional hitter right there. Just looked very confident in that at bat. And just this, like, I have nothing else to say on this ball game because the ball game was just absolutely great to watch. It was very exciting for once. The broadcast booth for MVC Sports, they were right in front of the dugout in the first row. So it's nice to see the little side-by-side view when they're looking over the first base dugout. And also in the bottom of the seventh inning when the Fanatic was messing around with those guys, with the broadcasters, making them do the YMCA stuff. It's just a fun night all around to watch a baseball game. And thank God the rain didn't come in until I think like the 8th or the ninth inning, so thank God it didn't come in before this ball game. So because when I was outside walking the dog during this ball game, I saw the lightning coming down. I was like, oh God, better not rain to postpone this ball game whatsoever. Thank God it didn't. But just back on the ball game at hand, just the lineup today just looked super confident. They looked very comfortable at the plate, just finding those pitches that they were comfortable with to hit. And I feel like that's the right philosophy with this lineup, what Charlie Manuel can bring, how he can mentor these guys in the lineup just to feel comfortable in the plate with their approach at the plate. Because that's what Charlie did in his tenure as Phillies manager. That's why we had so much success with Charlie as the manager. A lot of our guys, Utley, Rollins, Howard, they went up there and just found what they were comfortable to do, find those comfortable pitches, and they found success off of it. Not saying Charlie's going to be here for the long run because it was already stated that he's not going to, but just, it's a nice change of scenery for the dugout. Just bringing a guy that has the experience of going deep in the postseason, a guy that knows how to win, that knows how to play baseball this late in the season when it's crunch time. Just something that can just help these guys in the dugout and even help guys like Gabe Kapler. Just a nice presence for the dugout and for the clubhouse to have. And just going off of Aaron Nola once again, just a phenomenal performance. That was the Aaron Nola that we saw last year, who was a third place vote for the Cy Young in the National League. And just thank God Aaron Nola has been more consistent of lately because he's basically our best option. Well, he is the option because he is our ace, better than the other four. Oh yeah, and also Jake Arrieta before this ball game, he did say he doesn't expect to pitch the rest of the season, and he's probably going to undergo surgery to fix that bone spur in his elbow. So it looks like Jake Arrieta is going to be shut down for the rest of the season, and Zach Eflin is going to retake his spot in the rotation. So haven't seen Zach Eflin in a while coming out of the bullpen. So what's it going to look like coming back as a starter? He forgot how to pitch when he went to the bullpen, so maybe he regained some memory of how to pitch. I have no idea. But just building off of this ball game, just go into tomorrow. We have Drew Smyly on the mound against Yu Darvish of the Chicago Cubs. And just also granted this series against the Cubs, the Cubs are a first place team, but they are a team that does struggle a lot on the road. So the Phillies are taking advantage of that in these first two games. So we go into tomorrow with Smyly and against Darvish on the mound. Darvish is a guy, he isn't the same when he was on Texas when he was very dominant, but he's still a guy that can shut down a lineup when he is on his game. So the Phillies do need to get to him early in the ball game just to get into his head a little bit. And that's what they did to Cole Hamels today. They got to him early, and they drove him out of this ball game early. And just speaking of Cole Hamels, he did get a rock today, but it was his first appearance in Citizens Bank Park for the first time since he was traded back in, I think, 2015, to the Texas Rangers. Yeah, so Cole Hamels hasn't been here for a while, his first appearance since being in a Phillies uniform, so that was a special night right there. He was pissed that he did give up all those runs in his first plate appearance. He was like kind of hesitating to salute the crowd because you can tell in his face that he was not happy at all, just from the runs that he allowed on the board to the Phillies. But he did get that little salute to the fans, saying for all the fans that were saluting him being here for the first time in a while. So just this ball game in general was just something spectacular. Hopefully we can build off of this. I'm not going to stretch it too much because we just need something to bring some hope off of. We win 2 ball games in a row. Our record is now 62-58. We're still going to be in this wild card race until the very end. And just hopefully with this confidence that the lineup has from this ballgame, just hopefully they can carry it over. Because what I liked out today is just every single person in the starting lineup did their own little thing to chip into the offense, to the run production. Every single person, 1 through 9, had at least one hit. And that's something nice to see because we total, I think, 13 hits in this ballgame. So that's something nice to see. Just get the majority of the lineup doing something to chip into the offense. And it did feel like everything in this ballgame, just everything clicked. The pitching, the hitting, just everything. Everything clicked. Even the bullpen. The bullpen was actually nice coming into this ballgame, even though it was 11-1 at this point, so there was nothing to lose right there. But still, really great ballgame to watch. Just something hopefully to build off of going into tomorrow and possibly sweeping a series against the Chicago Cubs. Because I don't think we swept a series against a team over 500 all season. And the last time I think we swept a series was back in June against the New York Mets in that 4-game set. So it's been a while since we swept a series, so maybe we can go in tomorrow and take advantage of that. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this ball game? What are your thoughts on Cole Hamels' return to Philadelphia, first time in a while? What are your thoughts on the offensive production? Bryce Harper's 2 home runs, JT Realmuto's grand slam, and what do you think of their approach to the play in this ball game? Do you like it? Do you like what Charlie Manuel is bringing, that presence he brings to the dugout? So, don't forget to leave a comment, don't forget to drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. It's the headband. The headband is working.